Signposts. I'm sure you've seen in the outline that I have little sentences in blue where it says signpost, write a transition statement here. Your book touches on signposts, so I want to give you a little bit more information to go on. You'll notice that there's a signpost in between each of your main points and signposts that go from the introduction to your first main point and from your last main point into the conclusion. A signpost is an organizational cue. It's where you're letting the audience know that you're leaving one part of your speech and heading off into another direction. It's like giving someone a tour, you know, like a White House tour or a tour of a museum, and you're the tour director. And so when you call with your finger and say, come with me, come here, let's go to the next room. This is what a signpost is. You're letting the audience know, let's leave where we are right now and let's go on to our next stop. So it's like a little pivot. Okay, now that we've done this, let's go here. So you can see on the screen from the introduction, I'm going to signpost into my main point 1. And it gives the audience a little cue that I'm starting the first main point. Well, how does it do that? Well, because it says, so let's get started with the greenhouse gases. This little phrase, so let's get started with, this is telling your audience, okay, I'm done with my introduction, I've told you my statement, I've told you where we're going to go. Now let's actually go to that first point. So then I go through main point 1, yada, yada, yada. Now it's time to go off to main point 2, but I want to let the audience know that I'm switching gears here. So I say, now let's turn our attention to the impact of greenhouse gases, a literal increase in the temperature of our planet. So we know the Earth is getting warmer, and then I keep going blah, blah, blah on main point 2. So that little statement, so let's turn our attention to, this is telling your audience, okay, I'm done talking about main point 1, I'm moving off in a new direction, I'm going to talk about main point 2. Then you do that again when you go from 2 to 3. You tell your audience, I'm done talking about main point 2, now I'm moving into my last main point, and I'm just going to say that my last point is a natural ramification of the first 2, blah, blah, blah. You can also say, next let's focus on, or for my third point, let's focus our attention on, or now let me tell you about. You do this with your voice inflection, you do it with your word choice, and you also do it with your nonverbals, right? You use your gestures, use your posture, use the movement of your head to let the audience know that you're moving on to something else. And then last of all, you need to signpost into your conclusion. You know, you're taking a little bit different approach in your conclusion because you're restating your 3 main points, right? And then you're going to be leading the audience into a call to action. And so you want to let them know, okay, now let's time to reflect. So you could use that as a signpost. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we've discovered. Another signpost could be, so to wrap up my presentation, let me just walk you through the 3 main points again. Or a signpost could be, to conclude my presentation, let me recap for you what we've talked about. Okay, you just want to give a clear indication to your audience that you're moving into the conclusion segment of your speech.